lose an eye in service, and the VA pays you for it. Almost nobody mentions the second check riding on top every month for life. $139 most veterans never claim. And here's the part I want you to hold on to. The VA doesn't just pay you for the eye. It builds you a new one, and it keeps replacing it for as long as you live. I'll show you exactly how that works before we're done.
I'm Erica, and let's just name the two checks plainly. Check 1 is your disability rating. Check 2 is special monthly compensation. 2 payments, not 1.
Today we go deep on losing an eye, what the rating actually pays, that second check almost nobody claims, and the new eye the VA quietly builds you. Erica, keep me honest on the numbers.
Jasmine here. The rating rides on how much sight is gone, and it lives in one place, 38 CFR 4.79, the eye schedule. That's the rulebook the rater opens.
Leo here. The second check has a name, SMC-K, $139.87 a month, and it stacks on top of the rating whether you're at 10% or 100.
Want to know where it goes wrong? Most veterans file the rating, get approved, and never claim the K. It's not automatic. You leave it sitting on the table.
There's even more. The VA rebuilds the eye itself, and one rule can more than double all of this if your other eye is involved. If you want the free rating tools and plain language guides while we go, they live at va.professorerica.com. Actually, the studio chat just pushed the exact question I get most straight to the top. Someone asks, I lost my eye in service and I'm rated at 40%. Is there anything else I'm even owed? Yes, that whole second check, and we're about to walk it. Everything about that first check keeps you at 40%. These next few minutes are where the second check gets won, or quietly lost.
Okay, I have to say it. When people picture losing an eye, they think one dramatic blast. Most of the claims I read start quieter than that. A fragment, a surgery, a disease that just kept taking.
Right, so before we go near money, let's name what actually happened to the eye, because the exact words on your record are what the rater grades. Here's the anatomy the whole thing turns on.
3 words you'll see. Enucleation, the whole eyeball removed. Evisceration, the inside taken out, the outer shell kept. Anophthalmia, no eye in the socket at all.
And how you got there is the service connection question. A blast, a fragment, an infection, glaucoma, a tumor the surgeons had to take the eye to stop, diabetes that reached the retina. This is exactly where I want an outside read. We called in Grant Mercer, who knows the eye loss rating rules and the SMC ladder about as well as anyone alive. Grant, you with us?
I am. And here's the split people miss. Folks say lose an eye like it's one thing. The rating cares how much sight is gone. That second check, the K, cares about something narrower, whether the eye is down to light perception or gone entirely. So here's the line that trips people. SMC-K for the eye isn't paid just because a doctor writes eye loss. It's paid for loss of use or blindness, with only light perception.
And to be square about it, who is this not for?
An eye that still has usable vision beyond light perception. That eye rates for the vision loss, but it doesn't get the K.
So the diagnosis alone doesn't do it.
Right, it's in 38 CFR 3.350/0350, double check that site, but the rule itself is rock solid. Anatomical loss clears it easily. No eye, no vision.
Quick gut check before you go on, Grant. Of veterans who lose an eye and file, how many do you think actually claim that second check? Jasmine, throw a number.
Most of them, surely. If you lost an eye, you'd file everything in sight, so 80–90%?
That's the sad part. Nowhere near it. The rating gets claimed. The K gets left behind constantly because it's a separate box and nobody points you to it.
Let me put the two checks on the board so it's concrete, because hearing it and seeing it are different things.
Bottom layers the rating up to 40% for the lost eye. Well, up to 40 if the eye's actually gone. Light perception only caps that eye at 30. Top layers the K, $139.87, sitting right on top of either one. Same veteran, 1 stack, 2 checks.
One honest caution. The rating and the K I know cold. Once your other eye's pulled in and you're into the paired organ rule, that's its own animal, and I'd want a sharp VSO there. But claim the K in writing, don't wait to be offered it, and that's the short version. Good luck out there.
One cousin worth naming while we're here. If they took the eye's lens and never replaced it, the term is aphakia. Diagnostic code 6029, minimum 30% on its own, before you stack a single thing on top.
Erica just said the thing everybody skips. 40 versus 30. There's one word on your exam that decides which one you get, and it's worth real money. That's next. Real quick, because this next part matters to you. If any of this is helping, tap that like button, then hit subscribe and ring the bell so the next one finds you. Both are free and take about a second, but they tell the algorithm to show this to one more person who needs it.
$795.84. That's the 40% rate for a veteran alone in 2026. Start there.
Let me make it a person, because a rate table isn't a person. Call him Ray, an Army combat engineer who took an IED blast and lost his left eye. His right eye's fine. So Ray is our stack.
Row 1. The rating. Ray's lost eye, other eye normal, anatomical loss, 40%, $795.84.
Row 2, the K, flat 139.87, straight on top of the 40, so the 40% for the eye is only the eye, everything else on Ray's body is…
Wait, that 40's only the eye, not his whole rating?
Only the eye. Every other thing Ray's rated for combined separately, and the K still sits on top of the whole combined number. It never gets absorbed.
So add the two. $935.71 every month for one eye.
And here's what that $140 a month even is. For me, it's a new book from a new country every month. I'm at 61 flags on my corkboard. For a veteran, it's groceries. Real money either way.
And this is where the word matters. Ray's eye was removed, so he gets the 40. If the eye's still there but blind, only light perception, no removal, that same eye caps at 30 instead. $552.47. This is the chart that decides it.
So one word, removed versus blind, is the gap between the $935 and about $690, roughly $243 a month, forever.
Which is why you claim the K in writing, not in your head. If the rating's already granted, you don't refile the whole thing. You file the 526EZ… No, hold on. I had that backwards. The 526EZ starts a claim. Once it's granted and you're adding the K, that's a supplemental, the 200995. And the exact rate lives on one VA page. This right here is the second check I keep calling it. The one nobody points you to. And hold on to Ray's number, because there's a rule that can take that 935 and more than double it. We get there before the end. Jasmine, the chat pushed a sharp one to the top, and it's worth stopping on.
Oh, they went straight for it. Okay, real question, if Ray's rating climbs to 60% later, does the SMC-K go up too?
No, the K is flat. 139.87 whether Ray's at 10% or 100. It doesn't scale, it just rides along, settles it.
$935.71. That's the floor, not the ceiling. Hold that number.
Jasmine, you pulled how the VA treats the eye after it's gone. Forget the money for 1 minute. What does it actually do for the veteran physically?
It builds them a new eye. That's the part almost nobody knows walking in, and it's the promise I want to cash from the top of the show.
Remember the second thing I promised you up top. That the VA doesn't just pay you, it rebuilds the eye. Here's how it actually goes. You go through VA healthcare, and the prosthetic and sensory aid service issues a custom ocular prosthesis. A board-certified ocularist takes an impression of the socket, shapes it, and hand paints the iris to match your other eye down to the tiny red vessels. So in a room, most people never clock which eye is which. And because it wears over the years, the VA polishes it, maintains it, and replaces it roughly every 2 to 5 years at no cost to you.
Hand-painted to match. I'm leaning in for that one. That's genuinely beautiful engineering. So really, the prosthetics, basically the cosmetic part, the good looks part, and the check is the real benefit.
No, wrong word. Show me where the VA calls that eye cosmetic. It's prosthetic medical care under VA Vision Benefits, same service line that does artificial limbs. It protects the socket, it's fitted and followed by a clinician, and it's part of your healthcare, not a vanity item. Both things are true, it looks right, and it's medical.
You said prosthetic, the same office as artificial limbs, so a fake eye is filed like a prosthetic leg?
Same service, prosthetic and sensory aids. To the VA, an eye is a prosthetic device, so it's ordered, fitted, and replaced on that track. That's why a purchase order, not a rating, unlocks it.
Okay, that was a fair correction. Point taken.
And here's a bureaucratic joke that's actually real. The eye you can see is handled by the prosthetics office, but the lens inside, if that's gone, is Aphakia 6029 30%. If glaucoma rode in with it, the glaucoma's rated on its own code and then combined under 38 CFR 4.25. 2 problems, 2 codes, 1 socket.
A form that needs a form. Somewhere a filing cabinet is very proud of itself.
So that's the eye the VA builds. But here's the sting, and it's the number I promised. Miss the paper trail. And a healthy other eye that goes bad can flip a rule against you, or wildly in your favor. So what happens when the eye Ray kept isn't healthy either? Does the VA still treat that good eye as the VA's problem, or Ray's? The answer's yes. The VA can be on the hook for the eye Ray kept. It's called the Paired Organ Rule, 38 CFR 3.383. If Ray's service-connected eye is blind and his other eye goes blind too, 22/100ths or worse in each, the VA pays as if both eyes are service-connected, even the one that never was. And remember the rule I said could more than double the 935? This is it. Once both eyes are truly gone, you're not on the little K anymore. You climb to SMC-L, $4,900.83 a month, and up from there with aid and attendance.
So Ray's 935 was never the ceiling. It was the floor. And it's like a telescope night. The big number only shows up once you know where to point. That reframes the whole claim.
It does. And with a check that big getting missed, here's the real fight. Jasmine says never file an eye claim like this alone. Leo says you don't need anyone. Jasmine, you're up. Make the case.
The receipts say file with an accredited VSO. They're free, that's the part people don't believe. Free, under 38 CFR 14.629. And the K and this paired organ bump are the exact things a self-filer leaves on the table. I've watched it happen too many times.
And I'd put real money on the other side. It's one supplemental form, the 200995. You name the K, you attach the exam, you file it tonight. You keep control, you keep the timeline. You don't wait 3 weeks for an appointment to say one sentence.
Hang on, Leo. What about the veteran who doesn't even know the K exists to name it? Neither of you has touched that.
That's my whole point, and let me tell you how it actually goes. Picture a veteran who filed his own rating years back after he lost an eye, and this shape comes up constantly. Clean grant, 40%. And then for something like 6 years he collected exactly the rating and nothing else because…
Wait, back up. 6 years and nobody flagged the K?
Nobody. Not until he sat with a VSO for something unrelated, and she read his file in 4 minutes and asked why he wasn't getting SMC-K. That's the hinge. She filed one supplemental, and the back pay reached back years. $139.87 a month he'd earned and never touched.
6 years. That's the cost of the box nobody points to. Leo, source your speed claim. Where does filing a loan actually save him time?
Fair, and the VSO costs him exactly what a Flamengo match costs me on a good day, which is nothing.
Free. Say it plainly for the room. Free.
Free? Fine, it's free. I'll give you that one clean. The VSO cost nothing, and she caught the K he sat on. That's real. But my case was never money, it was speed and control, and I'll hold that. So it's basically a one-time back payment, and you move on, right?
Okay, 2 ways to answer that, and the second one's the one that matters. The back pays one time, yes. But the K itself is every single month, for the rest of his life. The real question was never the lump sum, it's the monthly you keep forever.
Leo, take Jasmine's strongest claim head on, that the self-filer misses the K. Can you actually beat it?
Honestly, only by knowing it exists, which is the whole reason we made this. So I'll concede the narrow thing, if you don't already know the K by name, don't file a loan.
So here's what I'd actually do, and I'll say the source out loud. VSOs are free and accredited under 38 CFR 14.629, and SMC-K is the single most missed piece on a self-filed I claim. If you're claiming that second check, let a VSO ride shotgun. It costs nothing, and it's the exact thing they catch. File it yourself only if you'll name SMC-K on the form, in writing, and check the light perception rule yourself. Both can win, one just misses less.
And I'll still file my own. But I'm naming the K in block 1 now, out loud. Both things are true.
Quick, before I recap, lock in the one number you'll actually act on. Here it is. Losing an eye is 2 checks, the rating and SMC-K. And for Ray that's stacked to $935.71 a month, with a paired organ rule that can climb far past it.
Next time we flip to the other side of this hearing loss and the SMC that quietly pairs with it, there's a number in that one that surprised me.
Isabella, real question a lot of people are typing right now. If a veteran lost an eye 10 years ago and never claimed the K, is it just too late for them?
Not even close. Here's your move tonight. Pull up your rating decision letter and check whether SMC-K is on it. If it isn't, you file the supplemental and claim it, and the back pay can reach back years. The K is monthly, and it stays yours for life.
Send this to any veteran you know with one eye, seriously, because that second check is exactly what they're probably missing.
And if today put $1 back in your pocket, hit like and subscribe so we can keep building these VA guides. And this last one's yours. Nobody up here can answer it. If you or someone you love lost an eye in service, did anyone at the VA ever say the words SMC-K to you? Tell us in the comments.
I will let the recap speak for itself on this one.
That's our time. Go claim what's already yours, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. History keeps the receipts. Read them now and then.
Isabella, that was excellent. I will admit it on this hot mic and regret nothing. 9 out of 10. This is Professor Erica, thanks for watching and signing off.